The movie starts with our main character, Faye, doing some gardening in her home. She is a legally blind woman. She is being very careful with handling the scissors while cutting a rose's stem. She then carefully steps back into her house and places the rose in a vase, savoring its fresh smell. Then, she opens her television to listen to a replay. It is an old interview with her. She used to be a famous actress when she still had her eyesight. She used to be so bright and full of life. She cannot help but tear up hearing how lively she sounded before. She is very saddened by what happened to her. She used to have it all: beauty, fame, fortune. Then, after going through a botched eye procedure, she lost her sight and her beautiful life as an actress. The scene shifts to a person sitting on the floor, covered in a dirty white blanket. They have a heart-shaped balloon floating beside them. The person is breathing very heavily, to the point that it makes one shiver with the thought of what they could be doing inside the blanket. The person starts pulling down the blanket. They pull, and just before their face is revealed, the scene changes. Faye and her dear friend Sophia, who is also legally blind, are hiking, guided by their mute friend, Luke. Sophia is a very lively woman who always has something to say or stories to tell. After the hike, Luke takes Faye back to Faye's home. Before he goes, he uses his phone to tell Faye that he will be back in an hour to pick them up for their group meeting. Sophia is trying to set Faye up with Luke, saying they have real chemistry going on. Faye thinks it will not work out seeing as she is blind and he is mute. It will be very difficult for them to be in a relationship. However, Sophia advises her that it will never work unless she takes a leap and tries. Moments later, they attend the group meeting. It is between a group of blind people, sharing their stories with one another. This meeting is being facilitated by Luke. Once the people are done sharing their stories through his speaking device, Luke gives them encouraging affirmations to uplift them to live life positively and to their fullest potential, despite their disability. After the meeting, Luke asks if Faye wants to go hiking again the next day. Faye agrees, as long as Sophia is coming. Sophia pretends that she and her husband are busy and cannot go, but her husband immediately interjects, saying the truth, that they have nothing to do. This leaves Sophia no choice but to agree to come. That night, Faye dreams of being on top of the hill after hiking. She is nude and basking under the beautiful sunlight. Luke walks up to her and whispers something in her ear with a face that looks aggressive. The next thing she knows, her eyes are bleeding and she is screaming in pain. Faye wakes up from this bad dream, sweating and crying. The next day she calls Sophia, calling off the hike. She tells her that she just wants to stay in for the day, probably to avoid Luke after the dream she had. Sophia decides to go anyway. She meets with Luke and tells him that she actually doesn't want to go hiking. She only does it so that Luke and Faye can have the chance to connect with each other. Luke confesses that he is indeed very attracted to Faye, but doesn't know how to take the first step. Sophia gives him advice, telling him that Faye needs to feel that she is a beautiful woman, and that's how Luke should make her feel. Faye has been feeling very insecure since losing her sight. She also gives Luke a wisdom tree scent, telling him it's Faye's favourite scent. She tells him to visit Faye, pretend that he needs to use the bathroom, and then wear that scent. Then, he should work on making her laugh so they can start building their connection. Luke follows Sophia's advice and visits Faye, then wears the scent. Faye notices his smell and compliments him. Smiling, Luke starts making jokes to try to make her laugh. He notices the sadness in Faye's eyes as they talk and saves his number on her phone so that she can call him whenever she needs someone to share her thoughts with. The two of them talk some more, and Faye seems to be enjoying his company. Luke tries to hold Faye's hand, but Faye pulls back. Luke takes this as a clear rejection and excuses himself, saying he should get going. Meanwhile, Sophia is outside waiting for someone when her white cane falls. She tries to pick it up, but she feels someone stepping on it. She tries to talk to the person and asks him to get off the cane, but whoever it is doesn't budge. And then, she gets abducted. She wakes up in the middle of a dimly lit room filled with holiday lights. She calls out for help, but no one is around. She tries to walk around and feels someone there. A man is standing right in front of her, and she touches the person's face. She immediately feels a shiver down her spine upon feeling the mask worn by the man. She tries to escape, but the man attacks her and then slits her throat. The next scene shows the masked man dancing in the middle of the room with Faye. This is the man's wildest dream, which only happens in his imagination. It turns out that he is Faye's stalker. Faye is baking something but forgets about it, so it gets burned. She rushes to the oven to turn it off and breaks a vase in the process. Disappointed, she fixes up the mess and decides to order sushi instead. Unbeknownst to her, that masked man is observing her from right outside the house. Faye waits and the delivery guy finally arrives. He recognizes her as an actress, and upon discovering that she cannot see, an evil thought enters his mind. After delivering the food, the delivery guy decides to sneak into her room and rummage through her laundry, stealing her underwear. What a pervert. Once he's done, he decides to take a video of Faye. The masked man appears behind him, strangling him until he is unable to breathe. Faye is oblivious to the sight right in front of her. She takes her phone and leaves a voicemail for Sophia, confronting her about blindsider when she sent Luke earlier. Although she seems angry, she loves her friend and tells her how much she appreciates her presence in her life. She has no idea that her beloved friend will never be able to hear her message again. Faye is taking a bath before sleep, and she is unaware that the masked man is observing her right outside the bathroom. Then, he lies down on her bed, like a creepy maniac. Once done showering, she notices that her dress is missing from the hanger. She takes her robe instead. As she steps out of the shower, she feels the cold wind in her skin and finds that her bedroom door is open. She calls the police, reporting that Simone broke into her home. A police officer arrives, and he checks the house for any sign of break-in. He tells Faye that he does not see any evidence that someone broke in and asks if she is sure or she just forgot to close the door. Faye is sure that she closed it. To ease her mind, he tells her that he will be patrolling the area to be safe. Before he goes, he tells Faye to make sure to keep the doors locked. As he gets into his car, he notices a door at the foot of the house. This must be the basement. He decides to check it, and it is revealed that this is where the masked man is hiding out, right below Faye. The officer discovers Sophia's lifeless body, but before he can do anything, the masked man attacks him and gouges out his eyes. Upstairs, Faye accidentally steps on broken glass and hurts her foot. She tends to her wound and decides to drink some wine to release her stress from everything that happened this day. The masked man appears. He is changed into a white suit and tie, quietly observing her as she drinks wine. Faye turns the music on and starts swaying to the sound. The masked man takes freedom in dancing around her, creepily watching her enjoy herself. Moments later, Faye decides to call Luke. She is finally ready to entertain him and release her inhibitions. She invites him over, and he happily accepts the invitation. Luke arrives in Faye's house, and before he enters, he sprays the wisdom tree scent on his neck, eager to please the lady he admires. Faye hears the knock on the door and walks towards it. She changed into a very beautiful dress and fixed up her makeup and hair. She even put on a luscious shade of red lipstick. She is really looking forward to having this romantic moment with Luke. She opens the door and smells the wisdom tree scent immediately. He tells Luke he smells nice the very moment she opens the door and invites him in. However, the man that steps inside is not Luke, but the masked man with his white suit bloodied. He just took Luke's life right in Faye's patio. How unfortunate that just when both of them are finally ready to take a leap into their relationship, the masked man comes in and ruins it. Faye still thinks that the man she invited in is Luke. She opens up her heart to him, not knowing he is right beside a terrible man. She shares how horrible it has been for her after losing her eyesight. She lost her dreams and lost her beautiful life, all because she hated wearing glasses and went to get her eyes fixed. She also shares that Sophie has been her rock, and she would not have made it through all her struggles without her friend being beside her. And Luke, for Faye, has been a highlight of her life. She confesses that she never thought she would ever meet someone who could make her feel like living again. She tells him that he makes her want to go out there and show the world that she is still alive. She wants to embrace the future, and she wants to embrace it with Luke. She lets down her guard and confesses that she thinks she is in love with Luke. A tear falls from her eyes. This moment means a lot to her. Unfortunately, she is opening up to the wrong guy. She takes his hand and leads him into her bedroom. She is ready to give her mind, body, and soul to Luke. She confesses that she hasn't done this ever since she started feeling ugly. He wants Luke to see all of her. She takes off her dress and lies down on the bed filled with rose petals. As Faye waits for Luke, he asks him not to hurt her. The masked man looks at her beautiful body, breathing so heavily. He realizes that his dream of having Faye is finally coming true. He takes off his blonde wig, and Tenbin takes off his mask, revealing a hideous man with only one eye. He has this creepy grin on his face while ogling the sight of the beauty in front of him. He takes the rose he has on his suit. It is bloodied with Luke's blood. He put it close to Faye's face and a drop falls on her face. She starts to have a bad feeling about this, as she should, and the movie ends just like that.